Hello everyone and welcome to the short video tutorial series of Planit Pro. I'm Mike Shaw. In this video, let's talk about markers. Markers are one of the key features of Planit Pro. If you've never used markers in this app, well then you've never experienced the full potential of Planit. That's how important they are. We're going to use 5 short videos to cover all the features related to markers. This video is the first one. Here we're going to talk about the essential functions of the marker. So what is a marker? It's simply a marked point on a map, and that's why it's called a marker. And there are 2 main reasons we might choose to add a marker. The first is when we want to remember a specific location on the map. It's like when you mark where you parked your car on the map so that you can find your car later on. In landscape photography, a marked location might be a great camera location that you want to return to, a restaurant where the food is superb, or a stream where you can get fresh water in the wilderness. The second reason to add a marker is so that we can see the marker in the VR viewfinder. In this case, the marker usually marks something physically present in the real world. For example, a skyscraper, a bridge, a tower, or a lighthouse. Now these objects are always present and they can't move. But we could also mark a natural object that might change over time, such as a tree or a bed of flowers. Or even a mobile object that can move around, such as a person, fireworks, an airplane, or a train. These are all objects we can add as markers, and we can give them a physical dimension or add them as 3D models to see them in the VR viewfinder. It's like creating a virtual world in SimCity. So right now, I'm standing at the tunnel view in Yosemite National Park. It has such a great view, I want to save this location. So I tap the current location. The map is then centered here at my current location. To add a marker, drag the map to the location. Tap this Add button, then tap this Add Marker button. If you don't need to edit anything, just click the Confirm button on the top and you'll see that a general red marker has been added to the map. Then you can tap it to select it. On the bottom, you can see actions like setting it as the camera location, as the scene location, adding another marker, or edit the marker, or navigate to this marker, or deleting a marker. The only question you may have is why is there an Add button here when there's already a marker on the map? The reason is that on occasion, you want to add several markers at the same location for different purposes. Or you might add 2 markers for 2 different parts of the same building. Another way to add a marker is to press and hold at the location of interest on the map. And you'll see this red selection marker indicating that this location is selected. You can then tap this Add Marker button to add a marker at this location. Now we have 2 markers. If you tap the menu and scroll down to the markers, you'll see 2 markers. This number is the number of local markers you added yourself. Tap on it, you'll see the 2 markers in a list. Unfortunately, they're just red markers and you can't tell which one is which. So let's find out how to edit a marker to make them different. Go back to the map, tap to select the marker, and tap the pencil button on the bottom, also known as the Edit button. On the top, you can see the coordinates of the marker. You can tap to choose a different way to display the coordinates, or press and hold to copy the coordinates. Then the elevation of the marker. We also put 3 action buttons here so that you can quickly set the marker as the camera location, or scene location, or just select the marker. Then we have the name. We're at Tunnel View, so we'll call it Tunnel View. The following 2 buttons are available for you to add the date and time here to the marker name, like this. This tip is handy if you want to keep track of when you added this marker when you scout for camera locations. We also put a search button here. Tap it and that'll launch a Google search of the name. In this case, the Tunnel View. You can tap the results to find out more about this location, including some photos. The following section is the category. There are 6 categories: General, Camera, Terrain, Building, Travel, and Nature. I suggest you click on each one to familiarize yourself with the categories and their icons. For example, Tunnel View is a scenic view location, so I select the camera and choose the general camera location. The following section are the tags. How to use this feature is really up to you. I knew that Tunnel View is a fantastic sunset, sunrise, and moonrise location, so I'll add tags for moonrise, sunrise, and sunset. I also knew that from this location you could see Half Dome, El Capitan, and Bridal Veil Falls, so I'll add those as tags too. By adding the tags, you can search for the tags to find this marker. For example, if you want to find out all the camera locations where you can see the Half Dome, you can just search for Half Dome in the marker list and this marker will show up. Then we have the area diameter and the camera height. I'll skip these as we discuss them in the camera height video. We'll also skip the 3D model section for now. Then we have the pictures. You can tap this Add button to take a picture or choose an existing photo. The following section is the options. If a marker is particularly important, like a physical object, you can show its name on the map like this. Go back to the map. You can see the tunnel view name is displayed next to the marker. You can always tap a marker to see the name on the subtitle, but with this option switched on, you can see the name without selecting it first. If you don't check the checkbox like this, you'll just see an icon with no name. The following three options are for the viewfinder. You can turn on or off the visibility of the name, the marker, or the ground contour. Since this marker is a camera location, we don't need to see it in the VR, so I don't check any of these. Then we can scroll to the rating section. Tunnel View is an iconic, world-class location, so we gave it a 5-star rating for scenic value and photographic interest. In addition, it is very easy to access. There's no need to hike any trails, and it's well protected. Now regarding permits, it's a public location, but you will need a National Park Pass to enter Yosemite National Park. That's all for this marker. Although I spent a lot of time going through all the choices, you won't need to go through all of them when you do it yourself. Just edit enough of them to satisfy your needs. Click Done and we are good. We've added our first camera location marker. Next, I'll show you how to add a marker for a building. I'm in Miami right now. The tallest building in Miami is a tower called Panorama Tower. Tap it to select it on the map and tap this button to add a marker. The name was automatically set. To find the height of the building, I can tap this search button. If you want to find the height quickly, just add the word height to the end and search again. The height is 868 feet. So let's go back, change to the building category, and choose skyscraper. The height will be 868 feet. Then how about the width of the building? While you can search for the height online, finding the width is much more difficult. Well, there is a way to find the width in Planit easily. First, let's go back to the map. Let's set the camera pin and the scene pin. Then switch to the Distance and View tool. From here, you can see the distance is 197 feet, which is from here to here. The Panorama Tower has the same dimensions from the bottom to the top, so I can just put one pin on the corner of the rooftop because it's easy to see. Then drag the other pin to the opposite corner. The distance of 237.5 feet is thus the diameter of the building. So I tap the marker, tap Edit It, and enter 237.5 here. Done. Now you can see the marker is a circle with a diameter of 237.5 feet. We still need to adjust the precise location of the marker. Google Maps says the building is here, but the tower's center is unnecessary. Some folks mistakenly put the marker at the center of the rooftop, but that can lead to an error. Here's why. Because the satellite takes its images at an angle to the ground, the building appears tilted, as you can see here. This tilt means that you need to look at the base of the building to determine the precise center. With the aid of this circle, it's easy to find the center. Press and hold the pencil button, and you can use the joystick to drag the marker. Drag it so that the edge here aligns with the bottom of the building like this. This will be the correct position of the marker. Now let's take a look using the VR viewfinder. I place my camera over here. I set the scene location at the building. Let me switch to the VR viewfinder. Let's use a 50mm lens. Here's the building, just a rectangle, very simple. But don't underestimate the usefulness of this feature, because now you can switch to a different focal length, say 24mm, and find out what it will look like, or a different orientation, or with a wider 14mm lens. You can simulate any focal length before going there, so you can decide what lens to bring. However, if you change the camera location to somewhere over here, there's a problem. Because this building is not a perfect square, it should appear much narrower when viewed from this direction. But in the VR, it's the same. That's the limitation of this simple rectangular shape marker. So here comes the 3D model feature. First, let's find out the actual dimension of the building, again using the Distance tool. Put one pin at the corner, put the other pin at the adjacent corner. Switch to the Distance tool. The width is 215 feet. Now let's find out the length to the other adjacent corner. It's about 102 feet. Write down both distances. Now let's tap the marker and edit it. Tap this pencil to edit the marker. I will use CU, meaning a cube. The length is 102 feet, the width is 215 feet, the height is 868 feet. Before closing this page, there's one more thing to do. The default unit is meters, so now we need to change the units to feet by typing in the number of files units equals feet like this. Done. Go back to the map. Now you see a rectangular shape. We still need to rotate it to match the actual building. Press and hold on the pencil. Drag this small ball around on the joystick to rotate. Rotate it so the bottom edge aligns with the bottom of the building like this. Now I'll put the camera again at this location and look at the VR viewfinder. Now you'll see a cube shape. If I change the camera location to here and look again, it's a different shape, much better. So you just learned how to add your first marker with a 3D model. In the following video, we'll discuss the 3D model feature in more detail. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching and enjoy learning and using Planit.